That's really my interaction.
I think Juan Unda has a email here next that could get him
That's
suspended.
tremendous.
Yeah, the K100 recommendation is the subject.
All right.
Just right off the bat, we just let all the viewers know before I read this that we do not take recommendations. Okay, dear K100 crew, fellas, I want to know if I have the official K100 recommendation. Konnan, I'll be waiting on that assistant writer gig you mentioned. I'm not an expert on lucha, but I take detailed
Here, let me
notes
make
and do
sure
my
that
homework.
Mike Durbin hears this. Continue.
Well, that's it. He says he's waiting. He wants to have he wants to get the official recommendation from us. Oh, P.S. I'm getting back in shape to work since I'm considered old now. Promoters say the ref manager thing, then maybe wrestle again one day. Wanda, you're trying really hard, but right now it's like I don't know who would hire you. You know.
He's looking for his assistant writer gig. Is that what he said?
Yeah, you can turn that thing off now, Konnan. That was from Mike Durbin, by the way.
Sure.
Yeah, Wanda, I don't know what to tell you.
Is that true, Konnan, that you're going to consider Juan for
He asked a
assistant writer
question. He
position?
said something. Does he get the
Does he have
recommendation? What was it?
Does he get the recommendation from you guys? Like he wants to know when he's starting.
Okay. The first question, no. What was the second question?
That was the only question.
Okay. No, he said something. I'll be writing. Joe says he said. What would he say? I'll be writing.
He sent a submission for a sitcom. I don't know.
But Joe, what did he say? That he was waiting on the
Konnan, I'll be waiting on that assistant writer gig you mentioned. I'm not an expert on lucha, but I take detailed
We'll be waiting
notes.
a long time. It's just like Joe. Joe went to the Monster Factory to take notes on how to be. What were you there for, by the way?
The seminar was called The Business of the Business, and it was kind of revolving around how to get involved in wrestling if you're not going to be
So you
in-ring.
stole that name and put it on the Marty?
No, I didn't steal it. That's John Paz's deal, and then I think Bischoff does a similar show too. So it's a widely used term, but so that was my gateway into trying to figure out how to get involved in wrestling without wrestling.
But what was it supposed to be? You were going to be a manager. You wanted to write.
I wanted to write, but that kind of led me in. I was doing interviews for the Monster Factory. I would interview their guys. I would write articles and reviews for sites, and someone recommended, "Hey, why don't you try podcasting?" And that's kind of where it went. So originally, I was doing interviews and helping get the guys over via websites, but then that switched.
Yeah, but I remember one time you were telling me that you were taking classes and you wanted to write a wrestling show.
Yeah.
Whatever happened with that?
Well, I went back to school for television writing, but about halfway through, I went to take a break to concentrate on this podcast and other stuff, and I just haven't gone back. So, also a published short story writer, but that's no big deal.
Yeah, I read a short story you wrote. Wasn't that good? Go ahead.
So yeah, that's it.
Even though you keep saying it wasn't.
It was short.
All right, next.
Ed Ferrara liked it.
Well, Ed, he's being polite.
He's being
dude. Most people are polite. I'm not.
Right.
I just going to tell you the truth.
You good, D.I.?
You were like, oh, Shane Helms says that. Wow, this is really good. Who did this? And this guy said this. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't think they really mean it.
The
Joe.
one compliment I got that I took seriously and enjoyed was when Raven said, I was racking my brain to figure out who you were because you wrote it so well. I thought you were really in the business. And I said, thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. You know, and that's before I was doing his podcast. And that's before I knew him.
Water with me.
Yeah.
What did I go leave at?
Just me trying to put myself over.
Okay, what was the last thing I said?
Well, Konnan asked me about the seminar I was at, and we talked about that. But we're on to the next question.
Oh, so you didn't even. Oh, so I was reading the whole thing.
Oh no, we didn't hear you. No.
Oh, okay, the next is from Kurt Down. The subject is the Batgirl effect. Just this week, Warner Media held their stock reports meeting and used the entire time to explain why the movie Batgirl, which cost them something like $70 to $90 million to make, has now been canceled and used as a tax write-off, and it never is going to see the light of day. Their reasoning: they don't want to release anything that isn't a surefire hit. Their movie for The Flash, which cost over $200 million, is almost up in the air. That one's definitely going to be canceled. Too. After this, Warner held a big presentation about their upcoming projects up until 2025, and what didn't get a mention? AEW. Now, one mention over the entire 90-minute event, yes, not even a post of Red Velvet. What made it even weirder, TNT and TBS referred to as sub-channels. I know that Hughes wrote and complaining about people asking about AEW all the time, but what do you think about this, guys? I mean, this is a really, really bad sign. On top of that, Dave Meltzer was just on Jericho's podcast, and Meltzer was saying that the idea of AEW getting a second TV deal for a big number is highly unlikely, and Jericho agreed. Honestly, guys, it's looking like the AEW screwed, at least for a rough 2022-23. Can't wait to hear your opinions on this. First, let me talk about the okay. So Batgirl is supposed to was so atrocious that they're not even going to release it, right? The Flash, bro. What's the actor that's the guy in the lead guy in the Flash? Look that up. What's his name?
His name is Oh, this is not. I know who you're talking about. It's not coming up. They're showing the TV.
Why don't you
series.
look it up?
I'm looking it up, but the TV series came up. My bad. His Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller is the actor in the movie.
Ezra Miller. Okay, so this guy's like an LGBT.
Whenever this is the hotel internet.
Does he know he's frozen, or you have to tell him?
No, I'm back now.
Start over. You were saying he's an LGBTQ something.
Yeah, okay. So this guy Ezra Miller is like this. He's an LGBTQ, identifies as they, him, one of these.
So
right?
if he were to go to Sapphires, he could get a hug, right?
Yeah, right. So he was grooming like this underage girl, and like they're trying to find him, and he's on the run and stuff and everything, and like
Really? He's
the lead character on the Flashers. When we get off, go look it up, but it's it's a long story, but it's. Like that project's looking like it's a wash too. They can't release that movie with that guy. He's like a sex offender.
Yeah, he's toxic.
And actually, from a day ago, he's just been charged with felony burglary for trying to rob a house of some bottles of alcohol. Apparently.
Oh my God. Okay, so
wow. All
right after but we do the Warner is looking to go towards streaming, which I don't know if that I don't know if that could be good or bad for AEW, but like they thought they were going to be getting a big TV rights deal, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So, crew, greetings. Thanks for reading my email. I watched SmackDown, and one of your emailers called this correctly. It felt different. Fans were booing her like they wanted her to be a heel. This is very interesting. I can see Rhea Ripley and her joining forces or your thoughts.
Okay,
on the cross.
Wait. Let me finish answering the last one, dude.
Yeah.
I
think he had he had a connection issue, but yeah, you were saying about the ratings, Konnan.
Yeah, it's very weird that you read that because I look at the ratings and they were like number one a couple times, like over Sean Hannity and shows like that. I was like, holy, and so I don't know. Let me just say this. So I don't know at what level they underperformed that they wouldn't be getting a better deal, but I will say this. If they don't get a better deal or a big deal like they're expecting, at the end of the day, you still got to remember, bro, he's got a lot of connections that he's probably fostered through AEW and through his dad. And, there's still Hulu and Amazon and HBO Plus and Apple and Google. And you never know, bro. Somebody might bite. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I want to make a point, though, on this. Bro,
Yep.
This is a thing, too. That they constantly, and they've started, and it's like a thing now where they are just literally talking about the demo now on how they're performing the ratings. They've gone off of completely gone away from total viewership, right?
Yeah, 18 to 49.
Right, because here's the thing: there's a lot of shows that are getting more total viewers than that.
Right,
and I think the problem is, and this is the problem that AEW is going to face with let me see here. This is the problem they're going to face is that, bro, these people are going to realize that the wrestling audience is like half the audience is over 50 years old. It's like, so it's like they
that's
do
so
good
weird
at the demo,
because
but that's
there's
like,
nobody really on the show that's 50 years old.
Yeah, you would think. How come this is? I keep looking up for the cable. Oh, here's the cable. Let me give you some shows that consistently get higher. Okay, so the Yankees game, I think it was the Mets-Yankees game, did great in the numbers a couple weeks ago, right? So that beat them in the.
That's to be expected.
All they do, bro, is they talk about the demo ratings, right? This is how many shows are getting more total viewers on Wednesday night. Dynamite. It's called Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't believe that. I read that because some guy actually wrote that. He goes, "Can you believe Dr. Pimple Popper gets better ratings than AEW Dynamite or Rampage, whichever one did?" And I was like, "Really, dude? That's a gross sounding show." And if they're doing better numbers, you're in trouble.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think that's why these things are looking away from advertisers. Bro, younger people just are not watching TV like older people do. A lot of older the TV crowd is more into television.
I would agree with that.
Older and like all this, the younger crowd's in the apps, phone, TikTok, all that stuff. And they're realizing this trend, and they're going like, what's going on, right? So
yes. Yo, what up? This is Konnan, and I host Keeping It 100, my co-host, Disco Inferno, unfortunately.
Well, I'd say you're my co-host.
Listen, every Thursday here on Spreaker, we talk pro wrestling, sports, movies, music, TV, pop culture, and some politics. It's everything the rest of the pro wrestling podcasts are not.
Tune in to hear myself, the superior one, educate and inform.
Tune in to hear me bury Disco.
That's very disrespectful.
Join us every Thursday on Spreaker and keep it 100. Boom!